This hive we have here is a hive that I set up to catch swarms, and it did. I had a small little swarm come in here, but they didn't stay long. And I've got a suspicion what happened is they didn't invest a lot of time in putting frames or building out the comb in here. And I've got a suspicion that ants probably got to them. They moved away, and then immediately after that, or very shortly after that, wax moth moved into this box and they started taking over. Now, like I said, there wasn't too much wax in there for them to eat or to take over. Um, but let's open it up and see what's happening in here, and then also turn this hive around so that we can put it out again and catch a swarm again and just carry on and restart. Let's have a look what we have here. There's quite a few caterpillars around here. There's quite a few cocoons. There's not a lot of wax. There's a very characteristic smell. So those are the larvae of this wax moth, and they basically eat wax, and they create all kinds of havoc in your box, in your swarm. The dark stuff there, mostly propolis. If we lift, we're just going to start on one side and lift out the frames and just see what we're dealing with. So there's quite a bit of fraz here. There's no need to be gentle about it at this stage. So I'm just very quickly going to literally just scrape and force all the old wax, all the wax moth, everything like that. I'm just going to force off. The wax moth, the grubs, things like that is going to end up in the grass. Just bear with me for a few seconds. Let me just clean these. Inside the box now, quite messy, a lot of these wax moth worms, and then you see all that black stuff in the bottom. That's fraz. That's basically caterpillar shit, caterpillar excrement, and you can clearly see the damage there on the side of the hive. And all I'm going to do now is basically scrape all this off and out of this box. Looks a lot better, and you'll notice all the fraz and all those white larvae and caterpillars and all of that stuff is out. Very, very simply, what this entails is a heat gun and heat, and what the heat does is we'll force it, we'll focus it into corners, and it will basically fry any eggs that may be laid already in the box. So you'll have some fried eggs and no more of these caterpillars hatching to give you any problems. So now that that's done, we are going to apply the same sentiment to the eggs which may be in the frames as well. Step next is simply going to be a piece of cloth, a rag, anything like that, and I'm just going to wipe them all down, and then we're going to prime them to go back into the box again. So for this part, what normally would happen is that you would reinsert some wax foundation strip here, and this strip is then what's going to help the bees build straight, build without crossing your comb. But in this case, we're not going to use foundation strip. We are going to use plain normal skewer sticks. I've done it before, it worked for me, and I'm quite happy carrying on doing it. So we're going to use a normal wood glue. I don't think the brand matters much. I don't think the bees care much, but it works very well. And all I tend to do is put 3 little dollops on a skewer stick, and then the skewer stick goes in that groove in the middle. You'll notice there's a gap left over. Fortunately, I've got these shorter sticks which just about fits there. So I'm just going to do this quickly. That's what it looks like. And these skewer sticks are not thin enough to go completely into the groove that's there. So they stick out about half of their thickness sticks out. And that's important. We'll get to that later. Let me do these 10 frames quickly, and then we carry on. Right, all we need to do now is wait for that glue to dry, and then we carry on. So all I've got here is some old wax from removals and comb that maybe cross comb that I broke out and things like that. So all I'm doing at the moment is painting the skewer stick with a bit of wax. Now it doesn't have to be pretty at all. It's just to give the bees that little bit of encouragement that says, hey, you're supposed to build right here. And there you have it. Now you can take your newly revamped frames, put it back into your box, use whatever lure you use to encourage a new swarm to come back in, and you can reuse that box. I know there's ways and means of doing it with submerging frames in hot water, boiling water, but this is what works for me. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.